What's up, everybody? This is the Jedi. I first want to say that I have not had a chance to read all of the comments from my first video back of the year. I only read some early on after the video had been released. Shout out to KR Watkins. I started reading your comment, KR. I read one of them, like your first one, but then the second one, I didn't finish reading it. I know I'm gonna love it. But shout out to KR. Shout out to Khalifa of the Most High. Thank you, brother. I'll do some shout outs at the end of this video, y'all. I will on that video, like, cause I'm not going to try to, on that video, I'll shout out people that comment on it, on that video. That'll be a good way for me to start with shout outs, if you will. All right. I knew that I would do this, but I didn't want to mention it to you in the earlier video. Because quite frankly, I hadn't finished watching all of I had finished, but I wasn't sure if I had finished the R. Kelly thing. And as you guys know, anytime there's a big something like that, the Jedi waits. Cause everybody's gonna be shooting they watch, like, let me get out there. They're trying to get a big story and they're trying to get clicks and views. And it's sensationalism and they're all going to say the same shit. I haven't watched none of them, but I know they're out there. I know it. I always wait because it's important to center yourself. Because we are assaulted as a people by so much from this devil round the clock. So it's easy to be in a habit of impulsive reactive, It's always better to wait. Wait. Listen. Watch. Learn, assess. You see? That's the key thing. Assess. And this is my assessment. I think that I want to begin with just to set the tone, if you will. And I could do it split screen. I'm not going to do it. I'm too lazy. Yeah, I'm too lazy. It's easy to do it in post. I'm going to play the video for you now. Not going to play that yet. Not going to play it. Not going to play it yet. All right. Because this is what I want to say first. There's two things that I see coming out of this whole R. Kelly drama. Certainly with this Surviving R. Kelly, even the title, Surviving R. Kelly. The loudest note being played from this wicked orchestra is that as a whole, as a group, African people are not concerned about rape, pedophilia, the sex cult, sexual deviance, sexual violence upon our women, etc., etc. This is being played as a very loud note. And it's being backed up by the lack of action from the authorities. So that means there's inconsistency. One has to ask themselves, there was an allegation against Michael Jackson. And you can go on YouTube right now and watch where an entire legion of police raided his house when he wasn't even home. Raided Neverland. Some of the most seasoned people in the law enforcement field said they couldn't understand, well, we understand, couldn't understand why there was so many police. I think there was something like 80 something. It was either 80 something or 180 something. It was some outrageous number, I'm not exaggerating, that raided Michael's home on an allegation. Stay with me. Now, Bill Cosby, it was over. And they pulled double jeopardy on him even. We're going to get a conviction from allegations from shit that was 500 years ago. Now, we have headlines, R. Kelly sex cult. Oh, there's R. Kelly on TMZ. Silence R. Kelly, mute R. Kelly, hashtag Me Too Part 2 or some bullshit. I can't. And no action from the authorities. And he's still a black man. A dark-skinned black man, and that matters. A dark-skinned black man at that. So, the alert African, understanding his history and his enemy, his environment, and his condition, and his history, knows this devil. Immediately knows something is not right. There's an inconsistency here. And then one has to ask that divine word that comes out of the mouth of every child that gets on your last nerve. Why? We have to ask why. I saw Chance the Rapper, who is a puppet. I get nothing but negative energy from him. He's a twit. He comes on the scene. He's on for 5 minutes. He gets a Twix commercial. I don't even know him. You play a song of his and said, for $10,000, say who this is. I'm not going to win. I don't know a single thing he's done. I can't name a single song. I don't know it. But I watch. Because I watch my enemy, my environment, and my condition. He has a Twix commercial. 5 minutes after I learned who he was, he has a Twix commercial. How's he getting Twix commercial? Why does he have a Twix commercial? I ask myself. You know. And he was being highlighted and elevated. Then we saw the statement he made at the university commencement. Why is he being asked to speak at a commencement? He's 2 years old. But I did a whole video about that, and I told you he was placed there because he was there to say, because since Michael Jackson left the earth, since before he left the earth, they've been trying to kill the legacy that he's the greatest entertainer that ever lived on this bitch. They're always trying to kill off our kings and our legacy. That's why they took off the noses of our statues in Egypt. And while they've rewritten history and written their white asses into everything, that shit still continues. You're still dealing with the same inferior white ass devil that we've always been dealing with since wherever they came from and whenever they appeared on the fucking earth. Same devil. You understand me? So he's Wacko Jacko and he's this and a third. And I also saw language on something in the R. Kelly thing, the Pied Piper of R&B, sex cult. They were calling Michael Jackson the Pied Piper of pop. Pied Piper. We didn't create that shit and we don't even use that. That is white. Pied Piper. Huh? What? Chance the Rapper was put at this university to stir up this thing that Beyonce was greater than Michael Jackson. I had to speak on that shit. No way I was going to let that go. Because anything that we create great, they don't have anything and never have had anything greater than anything that we've ever done or will do or are doing. They don't have an Oprah. They don't have a Barack Obama. They don't have any fucking NBA player or football player you're going to name. You understand? They definitely don't have a fucking Michael Jackson. Anything, they don't have Tiger Woods. They don't have Serena Williams and Venus Williams. Anything that we do, they don't fucking have it. They don't have it because they're the inferior fucking people on the goddamn earth and they steal from everybody else. Or write you out or make it seem like you're not as great. Same enemy. This is why it's important that you stay in the same frame of mind of your understanding of who you're dealing with. Because then it's easy for you to discern when shit is going on. At the very least, you know what questions you need to be asking. Or that you at least should be asking questions. So, there was Chance the Rapper there to say that Beyonce was greater than Michael Jackson and that what she did was greater than anything. And what was the language? That what she did at Coachella was better than anything Michael Jackson ever did. Somebody should have fucking taken a sniper's rifle at his fucking head right then. Just for that. Like, are you serious? But its outrageousness made its calculatedness more evident because it was so outrageous. Because it was so outrageous. Even Beyonce wouldn't say that. And she loved Michael. And met him and he presented her with an award overseas, someplace, something. Even she knows she's not better than Michael. And whatever the fuck she did at Coachella, I broke that shit down and told you there was nothing there. It was classic Beyonce. It was what we expect from her. But it wasn't like, oh my God. You understand? I don't want to get too far off on that. I'm talking about Chance the Rapper. He was in this R. Kelly piece. And then the language, again, that he uses there. I didn't pay too much attention to it because they were black women. I made a mistake, he says. Think about that. There's no black person that's not paying attention to this because they're black women. I don't care how trifling or where the fuck they at. That is a statement that's not true about anyone in the fucking black culture. Do you understand what I just said to you? Hear me. That statement is not true about any African person in this bitch. None of us would ever say that. Or think that. Hear what he said again. I didn't take it seriously because, or I didn't care anything about it. One of those, damn it, Jedi. Because they were black women. Somebody should have punched him in the face then. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This is dangerous. And you see what makes this maze, this jigsaw, this Rubik's Cube of this asshole of the devil even more dangerous for African people is because your black asses can be used at the drop of a hat as minions for this fucking enemy. You understand? That's why I say it's time to draw ranks, everybody. Anybody that's hesitant even, you having a conversation over fucking dinner or you're anywhere, if they're hesitant to the answer that you know they should be giving, you fucking need to deal with that shit and be over them. Because you have to ask yourself, we're seeing a rise in that. But also, we don't produce the fucking commercials on TV. And every goddamn commercial, I saw an old commercial that was run, because I didn't watch the R. Kelly shit when it happened, like it was on my DVR. But there was a whenever there was a thing for New Year's Eve, and it was like 1, 2, 3, Happy New. It was like it was an ad for one of these shows that was going to come on New Year's, and it was interracial. But last one, white bitch, black man, 3, and then to that, and it's just an ad for fucking New Year's, but that has to be white bitch, black man. Every fucking thing on TV is white bitch, black man. You have to ask yourself why in a country where you weren't even allowed on TV. Now, this is in every fucking commercial. Why? Why? And we ain't the only ones seeing it because it's there for anybody to see. Their white asses know it too. Oh my God. This is diabolical, everybody. This is diabolical. But, so, Chance the Rapper makes his statement. But we have to look at what is suspicious. Because I would say to you, fuck Chance the Rapper and the bitch that gave birth to him. That fat, greasy, ugly bitch that gave birth to him. And I would say no Chance. The reason why black folks ain't really about this is because we have, I don't care how trifling or how fucking fucked up Christian y'all bitch asses might be. Black folks have a, what's that shit they use for earthquakes? Richter. An internal Richter for bullshit. We can sense it. We can sense it. We can sense it. And we're not desensitized to it so much because white people are always bullshit and always stirring up bullshit. They contemplate bullshit. As I speak, they're contemplating and plotting bullshit. Now, we don't do that. So we have a center that is still able to detect. You see, when the house says, get out, we run. They stay their white ass there. Did you hear something, Bob? Did you, or like Cedric, when Kings of Comedy, when everybody's running, wait, get Keisha them. And everybody runs, like you see people running. We don't ask questions. We see people running, we run, and we ask after it's over, why are we running? They stand there. This is not just comedy. That shit is real. But it tells you something about a people. You see? You have to be observing them in order to really understand how they operate and their motives. And any African person not paying attention to these fucking people in this society, you just need to fucking be buried alive or some shit. Cause that's like you standing on the fucking battlefield in Iraq. And you're just out there wandering, eating outlays or something. And there's fucking incoming. It's that. It's worse than that, but that's the only metaphor I have. Alright, so fine. So somewhere we know, even the most unsophisticated of us who aren't trying to connect any dots and don't have time for that because we're listening to Jay-Z or fucking Cardi B or somebody. And we have Kool-Aid colored hair, male or female. And we're not sophisticated, we can't be bothered. And we can't even talk properly. Even they tacky ass knows, senses, something ain't right about it. Something ain't right. Something ain't right. I don't know what it is, but something ain't right. Alright? Now, what is suspicious about this? If you watched the piece, there's several observations that I would like to make. One, And I'm gonna get these names wrong because I speak Arabic and Spanish, and these fucking names, I can't keep them lined up. Black folks, start naming your children some shit that people can fucking understand and remember. Shit that at least it's tied to something. You understand? Azriel, the fuck? The bitch should be missing. I said it. I'm getting worked up early. Pace yourself, Jedi. The first chick. One of the chicks, damn it. I feel like her name was Dominique. The mother was going to the hotel. Beverly Hills Hotel. I think it was Beverly Hills Hotel because I've been to that fucking hotel. Like, I've been to that hotel. I've stayed in that hotel. And many years back, I also saw the Winans there. That's something else. But anyway, listen, you guys, I tell you, I've been on television, I've been in movies, I've done music videos, I've been to studio tapings, I know television. I know television, but I'm also someone who has been given the gift. I'm a very good listener and an observer. I am gifted with that. And I have to call it a gift because I see such a deficit of it around me all of my life. It's a gift. And that's why I'm even speaking on this, because I feel like I have something to present that my people didn't see, didn't hear, and it's going to go right past you. But also to bring a frame of mind that I'm suggesting we should all need to be in about all of this that's not going to be presented anyplace else. That's why the Jedi speaks. Now, she goes to the hotel. This is not the Embassy Suites in Las Vegas, which I've also stayed at. Very nice. Coconut shrimp off the chain. This is not, the Motel 6 down the street, or the Quinta Inn or something. This is the Beverly Hills Hotel, or was it the Beverly Hills Hotel? It was in Beverly Hills, goddammit. You're not walking into a Beverly Hills Hotel and saying your daughter is up there and the manager's gonna come take you up to the room. It's not happening. Maybe that would have happened back in the 80s or 90s or the 70s or some bullshit. It's definitely not happening in this era of too much technology, all the shit. It's not happening. It's not happening. And those hotels, part of their, je ne sais quoi, their sort of, their value, or their, I like the word for it, but part of their whole attractiveness and how they operate is they operate in the highest anonymity with their guests, because they have everybody staying in hotels in Beverly Hills. Everybody. And people will come in anytime and say, oh, I'm so-and-so, or I'm this or that. They're not, it's a whole nother way they would have handled that. She walked in like, I want to surprise my daughter and this, that, and he just comes and takes her up. No. And then they were blurring him out. That wouldn't have happened. He would have wanted to be on camera. He wasn't, because he probably wasn't the manager and some other stuff that I could imagine. All right. Based on experience. Now, they go up to the room. You got a camera crew. Now, you must understand when you're watching this, you're just seeing one camera, and then you're just seeing cuts, like, but, one thing to the next. When you're watching television, there could be 10 cameras. But because the way they're all lined up and they and they can call angles or choose angles in post editing and stuff like that, you're just used to the rhythm of television. You forget there's a camera even there when you're watching anything on television. Well, I don't. Because I've always been somebody that's interested in the process. When I'm watching anything since I was a child, I'm like, how do they do that? How do they do that? How are they doing that? How's that happening? How's that happening? What is that? And, like, even, you guys know I love that show, the talk show, The Real. I can call all the camera shots when it comes on. There's a crane. After they do the graphic, they do the intro, which is pre-recorded. Today on the Real, we have so-and-so, and in Girl Chat, we have such. The Real starts now, and then that graphic, the camera goes through that they start the track. This is our time. That crane is coming around. He goes in. Boom. They switch to the guy on the floor. He's got a guy behind him who carries the cable. It's a handheld camera. These cameras are so sophisticated now, when they're walking and jumping, you don't know if they're even walking. It's so smooth. It's smooth. So that shot is when Adrian comes out and she's coming downstairs. Whatever the song says, right? Grab a hold, it's time to live it. But on that first starting right now, he's there. By the time they get to that first starting right now, boom, he's there. And he goes around them. They come past, and sometimes, Jeannie will, but that first starting right now. Then it's another camera over where it all began. Think of the crane here, like I'm the crane. So that crane, then that dude's going to go out. Now this camera, boom, that's Adrian's camera. All right. Because there's 4 hosts. All right. So then there's that camera. Then, after the starting right now, boom, they switch to Adrian. Right now. Then It's Our Life, We've Got a Choice. That first one, after the starting right now, then Adrian usually gets to the end. Boom. It's Our Life, We've Got a Choice. They usually pick a part of the audience, or either they will sweep. And you've got 2 other cameras that sweep, where they sweep, how they pan the audience, right? I could keep going on, but I'm just trying to understand. Like, I know the shots on that damn show. You understand? To the music, I can tell you what each shot is happening. I watch television when I watch it. I can't watch television without something I can rewind. I can't. Because there's so much happening. I have to be able to go back. And pause and go back in slow motion and shit. Like, I'm the most annoying person to watch television with. But I'm also the greatest person to watch television with, because you'll learn a bunch of shit that you don't ever watch. So they go up there. It's a camera crew. They knock on the door. She opens the door finally. Then the mama gets real quiet, and she's a black woman. A dusty bitch at that. One thing I know about black women is I love black women to death. But I know black women at the same, because you can't love something if you don't know it. You understand? You gotta know it all. So, I know black women by the wigs they wear, the hair pieces they wear, and the shoes they wear, and their clothing choices. I can tell you a lot about a black woman. That shit she had on with the little fucking thing and the curls, that's a dusty bitch. How she does her makeup, I know women. It's consistent. That's why I can make the statement. The girl opens the door. Then all of a sudden she's real quiet. Oh, baby. Now she's mic'd. So she's lower than you think she is. 'Cause she's low. And she's mic'd. So she's that low on a mic, they could barely hear her. And she thinks she's low enough for the mics, but she ain't. That's not what you say to your daughter that you haven't seen in forever. Baby. And then she's standing there looking at you. She don't say nothing at all. We never get a clear look at her. No close up. This is Lifetime. They're following. It's a documentary. She's over the age of 18. You're not zooming in. And then they close the door. And they're not having a conversation. Forget white people. Forget anybody else in this bullshit. We're talking about black folks. We know how we operate in situations. You understand? She was not having the proper, her or the daughter. That was suspect. Later, when they say, oh, my daughter's coming out. And then they just go immediately across the street. She don't want no cameras. Nah. Because this is a ruse. You understand? This is a ruse. I'm telling you, everybody. Listen, I know this shit like I know my name. This is a ruse. I'm going to prove my case now. That's suspect, at least. All right. We won't even enter that into evidence right now as an exhibit. We will enter it as circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial. We'll just leave it as, it's definitely stronger than circumstantial. But for the purpose, we'll just say it's circumstantial right now. You know. All right, fine. What else is suspicious, Jedi? Wendy Williams. She's just like Chance the Rapper. Bought and paid for. That's what they're keeping her drug habit secret. Like they're not just coming full force that the bitch has a drug problem. She's still on drugs. Like they just, that whole fainting and all that's been drugs, dude. All of it's been drugs. You see? So she's in on it. And they're cool to go to her to tear down anybody in the black community when they need to. You understand? She's happy to do it. She's a fake, soulless bitch who needs to die. You understand? But there she was. They played a clip. You know, I spoke to R. Kelly and I promised him anonymity, or I promised him secrecy or confidentiality. That's suspect right there. This is the biggest story at that time when she was talking about it. You claim he just calls you up. He wanted to talk to me. I don't know why he called me and wanted to talk to me. You don't know why. He calls you and then you agree to give him secrecy. Somebody calls you, you say, nah, you called me. I don't have no expectation to give you privacy on this. It's different if I'm trying to get the story and I call you and say, look, if you'll talk to me, I promise you I won't print anything, and I promise you secrecy and this and the third. But to say that she said that he called her and gave her total fucking secrecy or wanted secrecy. I don't believe you, bitch. You man-ass bitch. Tu clara y tu dente es un caballo a mí. You understand? So then she says, this what really killed it. And he said he would answer anything. Then the body language. And I asked him everything. Watch the clip. The body language. She was accentuating with her body language. And I asked him everything. Then her very next statement is, he didn't tell me if he liked young girls. But, from the allegations in the court cases, he doesn't have to say anything. He doesn't have to say anything. Like, no, bitch. You just said he told you everything and you asked him everything. He said you could ask him anything and you asked him everything. But you didn't ask that. You didn't ask that. So it's different language, everybody. That's what I always tell you. It's not what they say. It's what did they say, how did they say it, and what language did they use to say it. This is very important. You understand? And so that's a different statement than somebody saying, he told me I could ask anything and I asked him everything. I asked him if he dated young girls, but he wouldn't answer that. That would be different. And that would support your opening statement. But no. You just made an opening statement of any and everything, and then you say, well, he didn't tell me if you like young girls or not, but yeah, he doesn't need to say anything. He doesn't need to say anything with the court case and the allegations. He doesn't need to say, no, bitch, no. You didn't ask the question? If I was in our audience, I would have said, you didn't ask him that question? You just said he would say, you could ask him anything, and you said you asked him everything. So you have to listen down, everybody. I've told you this a million times over my work. You have to listen down. You understand? I use that terminology because, since I was very young, I played in orchestra. And when you're in orchestra, you're listening down. All my directors will call it listening down. You're playing your instrument. I'm playing French horn, but I'm listening down because I have to balance my pitch and my tone to the rest of the orchestra on my entrances. If I have a solo or whatever, you have to balance to the orchestra. You feel you're in orchestra. You're in concert. So you are in congress with everybody else. Listening down, tone, pitch, dynamics. So it's the same thing with just listening skills in general. Listen down. Listen down. Listen down. Hear people when they speak. This is why you see when I do articles even, it could be a 3-paragraph article, take us 3 hours. If I'm doing it, it'll take us 3 hours to get through it because I have to break down every fucking bit of language in that if it's presenting something, because I'm using the skills that I use in my everyday life. That's just how if you weren't even watching the video, if I wasn't doing a video, that's how I'd be dissecting shit. That's how stuff comes past me. It's how my filters receive things. You understand? So I heard that from Wendy, and that was suspect. And I've already supported my next statement with when I talked about Michael Jackson. Now that I talk about the other families, the Savages and the McCaulleys or whatever, they are the same people. They're still like the same Dominic mother bitch too. But like the McCalleys, I think they said their daughter is the one. They kept showing her. But you notice, they only showed her sing, "Oh, say, can you see?" That's it. Every other time, they were showing her in fucking school plays and on stage here and doing some little fucking college thing or whatever the fuck she was doing. Little entertainment things. They never let us hear her voice. They never let us hear her voice. That was on purpose. I also tell you something else about television all the time. Nothing happens on television without it being on purpose, everybody. If a housefly lands someplace, the bitch was put there on purpose. Nothing happens on TV by accident, and nothing happens or does not happen unless it's on purpose. So this was glaring to me. Why they didn't let us hear her? Because she doesn't have the goods. And if you had heard her voice, you would have known that these parents are who I'm going to tell you they are. You would know, well, your daughter can't even sing, so we knew R. Kelly wasn't interested in her vocally. She might get like a little note out, but she's not like, nah. You feel me? They never let us hear her voice. All we heard was, "Oh, say, can you see?" That's it. And we were supposed to be impressed by that. And you're supposed to be left with the impression that she was this amazing singer, and that's why R. Kelly wanted her. No, bitch, I haven't heard her sing. You understand? Don't present this to me. And then the foreboding music being played by R. Kelly. Almost every picture in it is him in dark glasses. There's thousands of pictures, millions of pictures that exist of this man, with and without a beard, with and without glasses. But all of them were like the Unabomber, dark. Glasses, the beard, the hat, dark, with eerie music playing. That's meant to set a tone. You understand? To have you come away with something. That's why I say you've got to be in control of your vessel at all times. Nothing gets past the velvet rope of the Jedi. Nothing. You understand? I stand at my gate and I'm the captain of my ship. So, this was suspect. But you notice the husbands, the Savages, and the other ones, they look alike. They're the same type of dude. Both of them are Bluetooth wearing ass motherfuckers that definitely drive SUVs, definitely have PlayStations, are at the barber shop at least twice a week, not just to get a haircut, but just to gossip. They're gossipy men. They are in awe of R. Kelly. They want a piece of R. Kelly. I don't say they're gay, but they're definitely on his dick. Big time. You understand? Like there's guys that can just be on another dude's dick just like you sweat him. You sweat him. You sweat him. You see? And both of them are that type of dude. None of them had any passion when they spoke about their daughters. These aren't like their sons went missing or went off with somebody. These are daughters, females, young black girls. And neither one of these fathers was, I never heard either of them raise their voice about R. Kelly. If this motherfucker need to do so, all I'm saying is whoa, whoa, whoa. And none of that happened. You see? I always say you gotta know what's in front of you. That's why I say you can always, if you want to hide something, put it right out in front of people. They will never see it. You don't need to go through you don't need a safe and all the bullshit. You don't need any of that. And a security guard. Put shit right out in the open. No one will ever see it. That I know for sure. That I know for sure. That I know for sure. So no passion from them at all. In the case of the McCurries, they were the one, he was sitting up there in like the light gray sweatsuit, and she had the fucking, I'll come up with a name for the bitch, trust me. She had I'm going to call it her natural hair. That looked like natural hair to me. Like that, her hair would just have to be that long. Every time the bitch kept over on his shoulder, that is light gray. I never saw a single makeup stain or a single tear stain. And the bitch kept her arms crossed like this on her lap the entire time. Every time she would do it. Nobody in production brought her a tissue. This is an emotional thing. These two parents sitting there talking about their daughter, who they haven't seen in 3 years. Nobody in production brings them a tissue. Just in case you get teary-eyed. And usually when they know you're going to get emotional, production is waiting for that shot where they can move in, close, get a close-up. I don't care if it's Oprah. Somebody even get just the slightest thing in your voice, and they're zooming in. They're waiting for that close-up, so that teardrop, they can be right there, because they love emotion. You see? Not a single close-up on this bitch when she did that shit. Very telling. And her arms, like I say. And then he would kiss her on the head or something, but there was no, and then she had all that hair to hide that she was a fake bitch. But I got x-ray vision when it comes to bullshit, bitch, and I see through you. And there were no tears. There were no tears. She had on eyeliner, everybody. We never saw it out of place. Go back and watch. Go back and watch. And he's sitting up there just like the cosigner. You see what I'm saying? Because he's been in and out of jail. No real job. He probably has had maybe a good construction job or something like that. I feel energy. But she's like, dudes like that, those sisters are the ones that have the money. It ain't the dudes. It ain't really them. You know, they're good men, but nah. They're at the strip club. They're those type. You understand? You look at the fake bitch I was just describing and the savage, the savage wife. They're the same type of woman. You can see even how black women do their nails tells me something. That's one of them dusty bitches. You feel me? And they're like that. Like you could tell even the first chick I was talking about, Dominic's mother, you know, the high ponytail at the end, you know, that's very telling. You know, the pieces that they wear is I'm promising you. If there's any brothers out there that know what I'm talking about, testify, please. Testify. And any sisters that want to be honest, that know what I'm talking about, identify. Please testify. I know the shit of which I speak. I really don't need your confirmation. You understand what I'm telling you? I know the shit of which I speak. So the savage wife and the McClary or whatever the fuck the bitch name is, they're the same type of woman. Both the savage husband and the McClary husband definitely cheat on their women. No question. They're players. Even during the shots, we saw the McClary dude checking his phone while they outside of the thing with trying to get uh as what the fuck the bitch name is. The A name. Her. The bitch that can't sing. Alright? He's checking his phone. He's not raised his voice. They're outside of the location. He's not raised his voice. Even when the police come, she's talking to the police, not him. We hear a little bit of audio on him, but we see her in the shot talking to the police. He's not engaged as the father of a daughter. Listen, I'm not even a father. I have sisters, but I have nieces. And it's a certain way I'm going to be speaking. This is my daughter, and that's all they got to say? No, something's not right here. You understand? Something is suspicious. And then there was all this money for flights. They're flying to Chicago, and they're flying here, and we flew down, and we flew, and we flew. And I'm like, tick, 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 a chick, ching, carry the one, chick, ching, carry that one, chick, chick, ching. Let's see, that, okay, chick, ching, carry the one. Where are they getting the money for these flights? What do they do? What do they do? And then in the case of McClary's, they kept saying, it was basically R. Kelly was in control. He picked our daughter out of the, they talk weird, like fucking die off. But, you know, he picked our daughter out the audience and brought her up on stage. They loved that. R. Kelly could have said from the stage right then, I'm taking your daughter, you're not getting her back, I'm gonna rape her until she fucking dies. And they would have been cool if they could have got a coin. That's who they are. That love isn't there. It's not, I mean, their understanding of love, like most people, is skewed and non-existent. You understand? So they are easily manipulated, and that's why R. Kelly, you notice all the families had the same thing in common. Because the children, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And I don't know what R. Kelly's intellectual gravitas is and all that stuff, but he is from Chicago like your boy. So maybe just his life experience and his street smarts, whatever, he knows a mark when he see it. All of them are marks. Every single one of them. Bitch name almost can be aged as a something. I don't know. Fuck her. Anyway. Then the Savage dude, they supposedly outside of the Atlanta house. And one of his other daughters is testifying in the background. And look how she looked with the little fucking colors in her hair and shit. I'm like, for real? Like, anyway, he's saying we outside. We want a wellness check. A wellness check? No passion. You standing right at the man's. There ain't no gate. I'm walking up to the door. The police gonna hold me back. But you standing out there like a bitch. Because what I know about black people in general that are not Muslims, whose character is inferior and beneath that of the Muslim and the righteous, is you are easily and quickly and instantly seduced by power and money. It all goes out the window. Every bit of it. Anything you got is non-existent when there's power and money. You give up your ass in a heartbeat. Period. And that's what we're seeing with these families and these men as well and these women. It's not about love and their daughter and all that bullshit. It's not. It's not about that. And so, but while they're standing outside of the Atlanta house, he says with the little fucking ghetto girl testifying behind him, he goes, you know, we got 5 squad cars out here now, but he never turns the camera around so we can see the 5 squad cars. Suspicious again. He's standing up there with his hair done and his glasses. He looks like he's going to the club or something. If I'm there to fucking get my daughter, I look like some bullshit. He's done. He wants to be cute for R. Kelly, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I hear things. I hear things. I hear things. I hear things. But go back and watch. There he was. Where's the 5 squad cars? Why aren't you showing us? Why aren't you showing us? Why aren't you showing us? You see? And then back to the gray suit McCreary's, you know, they kept saying, you know, and after it was like he brought our daughter on stage, then everything he would say, and we thought, well, and then she called, then they kept saying that their daughter, whatever the bitch name is, I can't remember her name. I thought I said it earlier. I can't say it again because I block things that I hate in life. But there was like, you know, she was threatening us. But you never say what she threatened you with. They said that at least twice. She was making threats about what she would do. What can a 17-year-old do to you? And they still under your roof. What is she? What? No child or any. It don't have to be my child. No human being younger than me is going to make any threats on the Jedi and live. Do you understand me? Certainly, if I'm your fucking parent, there'll be no threats. There will not be any threats. Hear that. There will not be any threats. You understand? Like, what the fuck? So their black card was out the window for me, too. You're not even black parents. But they said that more than once. But they never say what she was threatening. And then he just being the supping nigga that's looking for a warm body to lay up under and is cheating, said, well, so we just, you know, we figured, you know, she had told us everything was okay, so we said okay, because at first it was like, well, every one of us would be there every time she go, and you know, and it's just all these fucking excuses, but you never hear any pushback from them. Like we said, we put our foot down and we said, fuck no. Everything they came up with, it was R. Kelly said this, and we did it. You see, so I can't get emotional about R. Kelly. I can't feel like there's a sex cult going on, or people have been abducted, or they're being kept against their will, or there's some Me Too bullshit going on. Fuck all of that. I don't believe you. Hear this. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. But let's go on. Now, so they're the same people. All of them. They're all the same people. And as I said already, if there was really something there, like I said, just on Michael Jackson, they moved in on an allegation, raided his entire fucking ranch, opened his safes, did all the shit. And then Michael told the lady they went through all my private things. They went in my bedroom, they went through all my private things, everything. They went through everything. Everything in his life they went through in that fucking house. His entire life. And they had the staff leave. You telling me these motherfuckers can go on in that fucking music studio? And said, we have reason. Because police make up any fucking thing they want to when they want to do some shit. You understand me? So don't give me that. That was also suspect. That there was no real affirmative action from the police once they were called. And I don't even know if those were real police. Hollywood has police shows on all the time. Where people play police and they have the full uniform in the cars and everything. I don't know. I don't know. I can see them having a permit to film and all that stuff so that nobody would have been suspicious of police cars and police that were acting. It all was very, I can't. And again, suspicious. So I don't believe that. Then, when digressing now back to the Dominic chick, when her mom finally gets her, and now they just show outside of the car following their SUV or whatever the fuck they're in, and all this whispering and crying. And allegedly, the dominant girl going, it's the worst decision, it's the hardest decision I ever made. It's okay, baby. It's okay, baby. I don't believe you, fake bitch. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Again, you understand? Listen, I am someone who will bring the hammer down on anybody. But one of the reasons why I would never be able to sit on a murder trial is because you're going to have to show me absolutely beyond a questionable fucking doubt. Not that fucking white ass law you wrote. Whatever you show me, that needs to prove to me beyond a reasonable fucking doubt that that person committed murder. Otherwise, you'll never get me to fucking convict. But what we see in the society is people willing to just go ahead and indict and convict people for shit based on a slither, and they're not paying attention. There's not enough here. In my mind, R. Kelly hasn't done a damn thing. I said it. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm laying out my case for that. You want me to believe he's done something? Show me something. Show me. Show me. But when we get to this other chick, that met him when she was 35 and she can barely talk, very beautiful, beautiful chocolate, beautiful lips. She was beautiful. My God. Anyway, and she's the one they took in to the empty house now because they claim he couldn't pay his mortgage. Listen, my father was a professional musician before I came to Earth, and part of my early childhood and all that stuff. And I know enough about the music business to know that somebody like R. Kelly, who writes his own music, he has written music for other artists, Michael Jackson, I mean, the list is endless of people that he's worked with, and his own music. He is paid. That man is not going to have no problem paying his fucking mortgage anytime soon. Don't believe that, everybody. Don't believe that. Don't believe that. Because I know what those residual checks can look like. Royalties. You understand? I know what they can look like. And especially for an artist like R. Kelly, because you have to understand and assume that his stream of revenue on that only recently would have been interrupted. And that's just songs from him. That doesn't go to songs that he wrote for other people. He's still going to get those checks. I'm trying to think what song he wrote for Michael. Let's ask the white bitch guy. Let's ask her bitch ass. This bitch. Way too much security shit going on. What song did R. Kelly write for Michael Jackson?
According to Michael Jackson, when R. Kelly was recently asked what it was like to work on
You Are Not Alone,
One More Chance with Michael Jackson,
and One More Chance,
he answered, Michael came to my studio in Chicago, and I just...
Okay, dumb bitch. They always tell you more than the shit you need to know.
Michael Jackson singing a song he wrote.
I don't care if it's digital or in real person. That's how they ass is. You ask them one thing, they can tell you their entire life. So, nobody is saying, we can't listen to You Are Not Alone and One More Chance. This brother is paid, everybody. He doesn't have a problem paying his fucking mortgage. Give me a goddamn break. So I've blown a fucking hole in that shit. But when they took her back to this empty house, and she was saying, the room they went in and what used to happen in there, and she was devastated. It brought back a lot of emotion for her. It was the black room, and but then she told the story about how she went to she had flew somewhere to see him. Again, all this flying and traveling going on. But she flies somewhere, and when she gets there, she thought she was going home, and it was like, you need to pack a bag, because if you're going to the next city and whatever. So I got on the bus, and just, what? And then there was another little younger sister after that, the one that said she had found out she had herpes, who had kind of a similar story. When he comes to the room at 6 a.m. or some bullshit, and, and she's like, but you don't say no to R. Kelly, because he wanted it, and she was like, she did it, but it wasn't like willingly. It was more like she felt like she had to. But it said something to me, and it echoed something. But it goes back to what I told you already, that he can see a mark. He could see a mark. From 1,000 miles away, he could see your mark ass. You see? But what they all had in common, and what I know to be true, is black women go crazy for R. Kelly. I really saw it when I was in Atlanta. And when I first got to Maryland too, big time in a way I hadn't seen it on the West Coast. Wow. Even my baby sister she loves R. Kelly. I almost didn't do this video yet because I thought I need to call my sister, and because I haven't talked to her about this. Like, her and her friends call him Aura, and all the years that she's been a fan, they go to see R. Kelly when he's in New York. They gonna be at the concert, and if she has this, we went to see Aura, they raving about it. I really want to talk to her ass and be like, Miss, but black women really, it's like he has tapped into something, and this is why I believe a lot of brothers are on his dick so tough in some regard, because R. Kelly has tapped into something with black women with his music. He also represents a certain phenotype, a certain image, a black man image, like, as an entertainer myself, I know that a lot of my relationship and my accessibility to females came from the fact that I'm an artist. You just look better when you're a musician or a performer, or you're a dancer, or you sing, or whatever. You just get cute some kind of way. Well, I was cute then, goddammit. So that wasn't just that aura, goddammit. I was a model. I said it. But he's tapped into something. He's tapped into something, and maybe I'll do a separate video about that, just sort of trying to analyze and break that down. But even his tone of his voice, like, I don't think R. Kelly has the greatest singing voice. I sing better than R. Kelly, and but that's all part of the mystique of him, and the women love that. He doesn't need to sound like Luther or, James Ingram or Jeffrey Osborne or somebody, or Neo or Chris Brown. He has a very unique voice. And before R. Kelly was famous, there was a show that he and his group won. They were called R. Kelly and the New Republic, I think. And back in the day, Natalie Cole used to have a show called Big Break. It was a talent contest show. And they won that first season, $10,000. Big break, da-na, you got to be in the place to be. Oh yeah, big break, da-na-na-na-na. Because one of my friends, Sean Earl, used to dance on that show. Because people thought he and I were the same person. It was crazy. Like, no, I don't look like Sean, and he doesn't look like me. But people thought we did. It was the long curl, Anyways, R. Kelly and his group was on there, and that was my first introduction. I have that videotape someplace, somewhere, but that was my first introduction to R. Kelly, and he was nobody. It was just, that group won, and but he had the mystique then. That's why they won. That's why they won. But I love R. Kelly's song. My favorite song from him is World's Greatest. I am a mountain. I am a tall tree. Oh, I am a swift wind. All that. I love that. In the ring of life, I'll reign love. I will reign and the world will notice a king. Oh yeah, yeah. Where there is darkness, I'll shine the light. I love that. I love that. The World's Greatest. I love that song. I love that song. I love it. I love it. I love it. And he has other stuff that I really like, but I've never been a big fan of his because his song is more. I just always took his music as geared towards the women. So it's good to put on, if you're trying to smash, and put on some R. Kelly, But I'm gonna be right now. If you listen to R. Kelly, I'm not gonna be doing that. If I am, it's gonna be like World's Greatest or something like that, But he has that, and so what I say is that even this 35-year-old, and then the girl with the herpes that met him at 19, and on and on. When you see how women even dress when they go to his concert, how they react to him, he's like that dude. He's that black dude, like whether you got the braids in or not. Even that is just like so like front of the building, south side of Chicago. Hey, can you just braid my hair back for me? That's just, I relate to him as a man. When I first ever seen him, like that dude. And then when I found he's from Chicago, I know him. I know that dude. I know him. He's familiar to all of us, but he has been able to put a hex on black women with his music. They turn into something else. Back in the day, I used to go out, especially if I was scouting new dancers or performers and things like that. You go out to the clubs and you just watch people. You just watch dancers, watch people dance. And I would notice the whole fucking place changes when an R. Kelly song comes on. It all changes. Every sister in there, girl, that's my song. And every one of the asses is going to be on the floor, I promise you. So he has this, but this brings me to this. Why I think our enemy is so interested in R. Kelly and why they've not moved in on him if there was really a crime. R. Kelly represents a masculinity that has not been compromised or tainted by this devil. We've not seen R. Kelly do anything commercial. He's not been commercial, He's not been commercial. And he's one of those artists that don't even need to advertise. People know he has an album, people just buy it. They're talking about he had this bump in sales since this thing aired. Well, this is why. Because most black folks feel like it's some bullshit. So he's not been commercial. He's not been compromised. I don't feel like, they done got to R. Kelly. The other thing one has to remember too, everybody, with all this, I'm running a sex cult and there's girls in every room and they're doing what I and all this bullshit. R. Kelly is a songwriter and a musician. You don't write a song in 5 minutes. You understand? And when you're at that level, you don't write songs when you want to. It's a machine. So if you just hear this surviving R. Kelly bullshit, what comes to my mind, well, when does he have time to write music? When's he writing? Because musicians and writers and any of us do our craft for a certain amount of hours every fucking day, at least. You just do. You understand? So, if you're a songwriter, you need to be left alone a lot of times. Songwriters need to be left alone because they can't have a lot of noise and people coming at them because they need to be in that space of creativity where they can receive inspiration. You understand? Michael said he used to go out in this one tree. He used to call it the giving tree or some bullshit on Neverland that he used to go out and sit in, because that when he went to that tree, that's where he went, because that's where the inspiration would be strongest, and that's where it would come most of the time when he was in that tree. You know, when I taught dance, even before I'm going to teach dance, I've got to be creating. I'm sitting with a piece of music and letting it talk to me. This music, I got to sit with the music. So I don't have time for anything else. I have to sit with this music. Sit with this music. You know, before I start creating, then I've got to bring dancers and start teaching that. You see? Or if when I had my band, and then you got to rehearse your band, and you're writing music for that, and you're playing instruments, and you're doing all that. Don't be planning a music video or something. That's even more time. You're talking about R. Kelly, who's playing tours and shit. When does he have time for these fucking bitches? When? And the one chick, she was left, and then he called. She said he was gonna have her in the cage on stage, so she went back. That was the quintessence of what I'm expressing to you right here, because they wanted to be in that. Most black women that are fans of his, they will eat R. Kelly's shitty shoe. You see how they react when it's R. Kelly. You see how they do. I remember after the first allegations a long time ago, and then the Soul Train Awards, a Lady Soul, one of them came on, Essence somebody, and R. Kelly had a long medley thing that he did. He came out, he had several wardrobe changes because he danced and everything. He had the choreography work and he killed it. But when he came out, he was like, his first thing was, my mind is telling me no, but my body, the whole place went up. Sisters went through the roof and stayed that way until he finished his last note of all the shit he did that night. He has that. He has it. He has it. He touches a heartstring with black women, like directly to their jugular. Pluck, pluck, pluck. R. Kelly does that. He does that. He does that. That I know. That I know. That I know. So I ask you again now, when does he have time for all of this? When does he have time to be at the level that they're suggesting all of this is at? You see, even when I say it's happening, at what level? Because this is not a guy who's retired. You want to tell me R. Kelly's retired and he's not doing anything else anymore? Fine. Then he's at the house and he's doing his sex cult thing. You understand? But it's more than just the music and tours. He is a corporation. He is an empire. He's a business. You understand? So there's employees to be paid. I mean, there's a lot. These people have busy lives. Well, I'm sure every single one of you, until you listen to this video right now, so you listen to the Jedi, you didn't consider, as you sat there, you were just sucked in as they wanted you to be. So you don't feel bad. But you were sucked in to believing that this is the only picture you saw. They're at the house and R. Kelly's doing all this evil stuff. You're not imagining he's got songs to write. Not to mention there's all sorts of people calling celebrities. All sorts of people are calling you for random shit and important shit. You understand? There's all sorts of, I mean, people like this, listen, you don't, this is why a lot of people that are in music, especially, and if you have a relationship, it just can't last if they're not in it, because she's going to be gone and you're going to be gone, because it's busy. Especially when you've reached a level like an R. Kelly. If you're Ruben Studdard, nobody's calling you. Nobody's calling. Nobody's calling. Alright, but somebody like R. Kelly, I'm telling you, like, people are calling and there's a lot going on all the time. People have just come to you to ask you about your car that's been stored for whatever, or did you want that, you know, I mean, it's always something going on. It's not just like this dark dungeness house and he's just doing this shit. You can't be successful like that. And he's been around for a very long time. So you need to contemplate these things. You know, when was he writing? When was he creating and rehearsing? You see? And when you're planning a tour, you got to get a hold of the company that builds stages. You got to call a tour. You have to have a tour manager. You have to have security at venues. There's all kinds. It takes months to plan a fucking tour before you even execute the first venue. When did he have time? When? So I would believe that we need to, again, I always tell you, we don't let this white man tell us who our enemies are amongst our people, everybody. They don't decide that. They don't decide who we like and who we don't like and who we support and who we don't. You understand? They don't get to decide that. They think they can be in everybody's fucking business. Well, that stops right here. They don't get to. The fact of the matter is, there's not enough evidence. And in fact, as I've laid out in this piece, there is actually counter evidence that suggests to me, or at least the very least, doesn't allow me to believe the charges that are being made against him, and certainly not enough to want to believe all of this in its totality, and to then go against him in any way. You know, like I'm not having it right now. I'm just not. It's too shaky and shifty and suspect as fuck. You understand? It's too suspect. They played one clip. Was it the one? One clip. After they canceled the show in Chicago, I think it was. Chicago, Atlanta. And he was like, I don't know why they tell me they didn't cancel the show. I don't know why they canceled the show. But there he was in dark glasses and a hat and all the bullshit. It was like, you know. They never showed anything that would give him any chance at a positive light. It was all indict on shaky footage, shaky testimony from shaky, shady people, I suggest to you, who cannot be trusted. Even when the Clarys go to the Chicago building, whatever, and whatever her name is, I can't remember her fucking ex-hater. But she's under the thing, so-and-so, but like a nickname, like, get your bitch ass up and go back to where the fuck y'all came from, bitch. Take your bitch ass. Like, that's all I could think. Because, again, like I said, the father's reactions were not, appropriate. There's certain reactions you're supposed to have to stuff. And we know those reactions as African people. And they're not there. This is the same for black people as OJ. What do I mean by that? We ain't saying OJ didn't do it. We saying you didn't show us anything that said he did. You thought you could get up and put on a domestic abuse case from when they had been married years before the fucking murder, and we would buy that. No, we're sophisticated people, and we smell bullshit a mile away. We weren't buying it. So yes, we were very happy when OJ was not fucking found guilty because you hadn't proved it. You hadn't shown it. But they stood their white ass over there. Well, there's a mountain evidence. What mountain, bitch? What mountain? What mountain? What mountain? There wasn't. So this is the same thing. We're not saying that R. Kelly is not guilty. I'm saying that we're saying you haven't shown us anything that shows us anything concrete to that. We haven't seen anything. We just haven't seen it. When we do, we'll be happy to join your little bullshit or whatever, you know. And there was Tom Joyner, and you know, again, it's not a mistake. Tom Joyner, white, damn near white. DJ Envy, damn near white. The fucking Ebro dude, fucking not black. I mean, everybody at supposed black radio stations is a fucking white man, or questionable at the very least. I had to point that out. But the chick, Mute R. Kelly, I understand why they're doing what they're doing. They think there's something here because they've not watched. If they watch this video, they'll all know Deceptive bitch has this down. Sat down. You understand? So they're doing that, you know. And there was the chick with the eczema on her face, with the tight bun and the badass fucking outfit that needs to be fucking burned in hell. That orange bullshit. I don't know. Oh my god, my eyes. You can't unsee that. You know, and there they were, you know. So it looks like black women are tearing them down, you know. I know that black women have most black women would throw they fucking mama's panties at R. Kelly. That's the truth. And their own. And I just think that for me, these are women young and older who have had an opportunity to get close to R. Kelly for whatever reason, and on some levels, it's mutual. He might have not been the best guy. Maybe he is abusive in some ways, you know. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think anybody's being chained to and brainwashed. I think they just cannot leave. I think that is, my point is borne out by the sister that said she left. Got to the airport, she packed her stuff and left. She realized he don't love me, he don't give a shit about me. And had even agreed that he could just have anybody. He told her, like, you ain't the only one. And I just appreciated he was being honest. Dumb bitch. But she gets all the way to the airport after she's packed her shit and said, I just said, I'm leaving. She's crying, thinking about it even. And if he don't answer the phone, then I won't go back. But if he answers the phone, I'm going back. You done packed your shit and left. Made your escape. But you knowing, if he answered his phone, I'm going back. But he happened to not answer the phone. That's why she was sitting there telling her fucking story. Because she'd be right behind the gates right now. You see what I'm saying? Lapping on R. Kelly's dick. You see? So, we have to be careful, everybody, because, you know, there's an over-exaggeration, acceleration of all this Me Too and women's rights and women are being abused and girls and women. And I'm over that. And I've already laid out a very eloquent video when that first happened in the Oprah speech and all that, saying America's getting exactly what the fuck it deserves on that. You know, our women, we don't have this, and none of this stuff that I ever talk about, we don't have any of these issues in the Islamic world. We don't have this. We don't have an R. Kelly in the Islamic world. We don't have it. You understand? Everything I've ever talked about for the last years, since 2014, affects fucking fake-ass black Christians under the anesthesia given to you by the fucking slave master in 1821. This is where all your problems stem from. All of it. Because Islam is perfect. In this case, the McClearys, your daughter wouldn't be with R. Kelly. Because first of all, she would have been at a fucking R. Kelly concert. And if she had, she would have been covered in Islamic, like a Muslim woman covers herself. R. Kelly would have picked her out of the fucking audience. End of fucking story. If any of these bitches was dressing like a Muslim, nothing happens. Period. You don't put out the fucking honey and then be surprised when you attract fucking shit that likes honey. That's what they're trying to have you have. They'll have this Me Too shit on like right now, and right after that, they have some bitch walking across in a bathing suit telling you how you can be more beautiful, or some lip gloss, or L'Oreal, or some bullshit. After they just showed you some Me Too shit. Then here's how you can be even more beautiful and more enticing to men. Fuck that. You understand? You don't get the prize without the work. You can't have it both ways. You don't get to walk down the street like a fucking meat slab and in this nation and nothing's gonna happen. You understand? And then be outraged when it does. That's the reality. You understand? It's just that you've been given the wrong idea of what it is to express yourself as a woman. You think the less you have on, the more empowered you are. You're a dumb ass bitch. I'm telling you. That does not empower you. That makes you a slut. That's what it makes you. That's what it makes you. And that causes this atmosphere of Me Too. Every bitch that got up there and talked at the fucking Golden Globes, and will speak at the Oscars, no doubt, is up there talking about Me Too and all this shit, and plunging fucking cleavage and shit. Really, bitch? Aren't you setting yourself up for the next attack? Let's keep it real. Don't give me that. Well, it shouldn't matter. No, fuck that. Because that's the only thing they say that about. Because it shouldn't matter. Well, they just cut a kid's dreads off at his fucking match. His wrestling match. During the wrestling match. It shouldn't matter. Really. Don't give me that shouldn't matter shit. It matters, and everybody goddamn it knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So, I've dispelled. R. Kelly's not fucking going broke. He's not unable to pay his fucking mortgage. I have broken down. I think I've given you key things in this Surviving R. Kelly piece to raise serious questions of doubt on its production, its sincerity, the parents. I have tried to do some dissertation without going too deep and long on energy and perceptions that I get from the parents, the fathers, the mothers, etc. What type of people they are, and why I don't find them to be credible. I discredited fucking Chance the fucking rapper, and most everybody in the fucking video and all the shit that they did. So this is how we need to see this. But I've given you that my whole belief on this is an attack on the masculinity of R. Kelly. For some reason, he is a threat of some kind, or maybe it's just being used. Either and both of those can be true at this point in the juncture, because there's been no action against him. As I said, I reminded you, Michael Jackson, you had like 180 fucking cops rolled on fucking Neverland when he wasn't even there, on an allegation that they were looking for some evidence that had been discussed to them. Here you have all these women and girls just coming out and saying all this shit, and no movement. If there was something there, they would already rolled on him. But they're letting the media have this field day, so you think it's all this and just destroy him. That's their benefit, just destroy him, even if there's nothing there. Who cares? Because remember, Michael's trial was the fucking trial of the century, bitch. Huh? They rolled on Michael's shit. Rolled on him. But you have a short memory, you see? You have a short memory. I remember when he was going to turn himself in, and that private jet, and it was all the fucking, they were scanning the skies. We saw Michael's plane come, the private jet, and land and go to the hangar, all the shit we saw, and the helicopter following to the police station, all that shit. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember. And so, if there had been, because they keep saying, well, we don't understand why he keeps dodging this, why nothing's being done, and how even Tom Jordan was expressing some frustration. There was John Legend up there speaking, who I love. But sit down, John. Go back home to Chrissy. Go home to Chrissy. Go home to Chrissy. You see? But I don't really blame him, because he doesn't have this. He's not seeing what I'm seeing. He's not seeing what I'm seeing. He's got his own world, and he's busy, I promise you. So I'm not really going to chastise the brother, you see. But go home, John, and we'll call you. Go to Chrissy. We'll call you. But they all kept saying, how come the law hasn't been able to do anything? I'm telling you why they haven't done anything to him, because there's nothing there. And then when they have these dramatic statements, I guess the lives of black women just doesn't matter. No, fuck that. You see? And then they brought in the Chance, the rapper, to put it in as if our whole community don't care about the shit. No, we know there's some bullshit here, and I've laid out at least some portion of it here, even at this juncture. As if more comes to my mind or I understand something else, I'll share that with you. But for me, you have not shown me anything here but questionable bullshit with shady ass people who I don't believe. I don't believe. You can't just put shit in front of me and tell me this is what it is. You see what I'm saying? You can't put anything in front of me. You can't even say anything in front of me. You can't even type shit to me. I scrutinize everything. I don't have to work at that. My eye is just trained that way. My eyes and my ears are trained that way. And I'm someone who, when I watch or consume or anything, this is what I tell you guys about silencing your life and silencing your soul. I tell you, it's not your ears. And I can drive down the freeway at 90 miles an hour and have my music blaring, but I'm in deep thought. Deep thought. Because my soul is silent. My soul is silent. And when your soul is silent, then there's a different way that you do everything. Most people, when they watch TV, they're looking at their phone, or haha kiki at somebody or something. I don't have any distractions when I watch anything. I'm one of these people, if you see, I'm the guy you see anywhere in a class, or if I'm at the mosque or anything, anytime somebody's speaking, I'm the guy sitting there like this. And I don't blink. I barely blink. I should say I barely blink. I'm just sitting there. I was in college, in high school, all that stuff. Paying attention to who the professor is. I just listen. I want every single frame of anything that I'm being presented with. I can't have it in pieces. And sometimes just to do this, you've missed something when you look back. I don't like when I'm on the phone with somebody. My sister's, my nephew's mom will tell you this. If I call her, first thing I say is, where are you at? She's not at home. All right, call when you get home. Because she's not going to really get everything. I need to be heard when I speak and felt. So I can't have her driving, or she's in the grocery store or something, because the time she's looking at the light and she's doing, but I no double standard, because anybody that will call me, I say, I'm not at home. Let's get home so I can give you my full attention. And when even if I'm at home and I'm on the phone, I don't have the TV playing. I don't have shit going on. I don't have anything. I'm only focused on that phone call. You have my total attention. Like, that's all I'm focused. This is what I'm doing on the earth right now. You're the only thing I'm doing on the earth right now. And that's how I've always been. So that all is in play when I watch this. I'm watching graphics. I'm watching, everything. You put it in front of me. Everything you put in front of me, I'm watching. All of it. I'm watching. So I did that. And this is my assessment. So if you're an R. Kelly fan, you have tickets to a show, or you got his poster, or you got his album, continue with that. Because, as I say, at this juncture, there's been nothing that this was supposed to be the pièce de résistance. This was supposed to have been the creme de la creme. This was supposed to have been, oh my God, we are surviving R. Kelly, and they've got all the victims, and they're gonna have testimonials, and this was supposed to have been their closing argument, or at least their opening, whichever, how we want to assess the time frame. But this was their statement. Everybody's supposed to come away from this going, R. Kelly's a demon and he's a monster and I don't have shit to do with him. And no. Like, you're better than that. But they know they're dealing with mediocrity. You understand? I always tell you, America is the dumbest fucking nation on earth. The dumbest. Thank God I'm not a con man. The dumbest. And they can put that inferior bullshit in front of you for however many fucking hours or days the shit was. And with some dramatic music and the right camera angles, and have some people on camera just saying shit, and you think, aha, it is the gospel. It must have been on the tablets that Moses brought down from Sinai. It was on there. I'm sure it was on there. It was on there. And none of it is true. So step back, take a deep breath now that you have heard the Jedi. If you've recorded it, go back and watch it again now. Because I don't need to make shit up. I always tell you the truth is strong enough to stand on its own. All you need to do is tell it. If you're gonna deal with it at all, you just tell it, live it, represent it, give it, be it. You understand? It will take care of itself. It's like autopilot. We don't need you. You see? If you recorded it, go back and watch it again now. with new insight, with clarity, I would suggest to you. Go back now that I've removed the cataracts and the fog from your ears and your eyes. Now go back and watch it and see what you think. And I would love to hear your report. I'll see you soon.